90 seconds. It's an alarming pattern Cleveland police want you to know about.
And it involves some technology you may have on your own keychain. Investigator Sarah Goldenberg has the alert in this week's 19 Crime Tracker.
Key fobs. We rely on them for quick and easy access to unlock our vehicles. But Cleveland police say they could be putting your car at risk. And they're trying to get the message out. The Cleveland Crime Analysis Unit is tracking a pattern of vehicle thefts involving stolen and reprogrammed key fobs between December 29th of last year and February 20th. Police say thieves are using scanner tools to reprogram blank key fobs in under 90 seconds after accessing a vehicle system. Once they steal a car, they may use it for other crimes or strip it for parts. Cleveland police say Jeep Cherokees and Grand Cherokees are the most targeted vehicles, and Dodges may also be at risk. But they say really any vehicle could be at risk since these tools work on many makes and models. 19 Investigates asked CPD how many vehicles were stolen over that time period involving stolen or reprogrammed key fobs. They told us they're still investigating, but 22 Jeeps have been reported stolen without keys. 19 Investigates has covered the problem of stolen cars extensively here in Northeast Ohio.
But I was also in shock because I'm like, there's no way my car was stolen again. There's just no way.
Raven Hullum had not one, but 2 cars stolen in the city in less than 2 years. Stolen vehicles sometimes wind up at illegal dumping sites across Cleveland and the region, or even dumped in the Cuyahoga River, like these 2 Jeeps investigators pulled out of the river last fall. So what can you do to protect your Jeep or your car? Cleveland police say you can add security measures like steering wheel locks or aftermarket immobilizers, which basically act as a kill switch on your car. They recommend you park in well-lit areas or secured buildings. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.